What's up, y'all? Ropy here, and welcome back to Freeport Tech Dynasty. It is off-season number 2 for Coach Ropy at the helm of Freeport Tech, coming off an impressive 10-4 season, which included a 10-2 regular season for the Marlins. An incredible turnaround from the 2-10 first season that we had. Even with that being the case, though, just with the way the season ended, losing the conference championship to Tulane and a spot in the college football playoff as well, which would have been ridiculous, as well as dropping our bowl game to Kentucky in the Armed Forces Bowl. It was a and of course Tulane's fight song starts playing as soon as I start talking about them. I can't escape, but it was a very sad ending to what was truly an incredible turnaround for Freeport Tech. And hopefully we can keep that momentum going here. But we're going to need a big offseason for sure. We brought in an incredible transfer class last offseason. That was a huge part of the reason we were able to turn it around. But quite a few of them were seniors. And as I pointed out at a few different points over the course of the season, it looks like several of the recruits that we did get to transfer over are likely going to leave again because their grades went up, and they want their brand exposure. Was the case for a lot of them. They want, and I think conference prestige was one of them maybe, and those, we don't meet those thresholds anymore for some of them. So some of the guys we brought in that were underclassmen now are looking like they may want to transfer out as well. And as we also saw last offseason, sometimes you just get a surprise. I didn't expect Kentrell Stokes to transfer on us, who would have been our quarterback for this past season. But it did lead us to hit the quarterback transfer recruiting a little harder than expected, and we were able to land Zion Chris, who was our quarterback this last season and was incredible for us, and Haas Haney, who, if he decides to stick around, fingers crossed, will likely be our starter. Granted, we'll see what the transfer portal kind of holds for us. I'll kind of explain my transfer portal ideology once we get there, because I know the first thing that we have to do is look at the players that are leaving for this after this season. So it's a very stressful advancement of the week I'm about to do, because I don't know what this holds in store for us. But here we go, baby. Start of the offseason. Oh, one more thing as well. I mentioned it at the end of the last episode as well. I am looking to change my playbook, my offensive playbook, for this upcoming season. We've used the Kansas playbook for both seasons. It's been good, but I think I'm ready for something a little different. So if any of y'all have any recommendations, please drop them in the comments, whether it's a playbook that you think is really strong, or just a playbook that's kind of goofy, or a playbook that you just really enjoy using for one reason or another. Drop them down in the comments. I'll take a look at them, and I'll probably try any and all suggestions out and see kind of which one I think looks like it'll be the most fun for us. So drop your recs in the comments, and let's get started with this offseason. So as we kind of were expecting, some of the guys that had brand exposure as the reason for wanting to transfer, it looks like are going to want to leave on us. So that includes Dante Carter, Aaron Fenimore, and JD Drew. But one thing I am not seeing is Peyton Kirkland. He was the one that I believe was thinking about transferring due to conference prestige, which, fair. The American, while I think some would view it as the best of the group of 5 conferences in terms of just general quality of team, it'd be kind of hard to argue that. I personally am a big fan of Maction myself as a resident of the Midwest. But the American is a very strong group of 5 conference, arguably the strongest. So, but if he wants to go to a Power 4 school, that's understandable. But it looks like he actually wants to stay, so that's awesome. I do see we get 7 persuasions, which is awesome. It looks like our team prestige went up to 3 stars. Oh my gosh. I mean, we were a 1-star prestige, and I can't imagine we went up last offseason. But with the increase in the team prestige, that allows us more persuasions. So I'm definitely going to use 3 of them on these guys. It looks like some of our quarterbacks, Malik Johnson and Amani Oladokun, who was one of the freshmen that we brought in, are wanting to transfer, as well as Dontrell Banks, who's kind of been a depth linebacker for us. Javonte Marshall, who was he the one that had really good coverage stats? No, 62 man coverage is a different one. There was a corner we had that wasn't very highly rated, but was like, you know, had good coverage ability. Austin Carter, I think he was one of the guys that we had on the roster already as well, and Mason Caldwell. So I would like to keep Oladokun for sure, just because he was a freshman. So that's 4 guys I want to use these persuasions on, and then, I mean, I guess I have the persuasions. I might as well use them on the rest, but we'll start with the guys I definitely want to try and persuade. So we'll see if we can get Carter to stay. He has not, Dante Carter, hit in the transfer portal. These guys all have very low persuasion chances, so I don't like our odds of doing it, but these are our best players that are threatening to hit the portal, so we got to go for them. JD Drew is one I would love to keep. But we're going to try for Fenimore, the center. See if we can keep him. Nope, he's leaving. JD Drew, impact corner, a junior as well. Can we? I think he'll be a senior for this upcoming year. Can we convince him to stay? Maybe. Oh my gosh, we did. JD Drew has decided to stay. Coach Ropy keeps him home. Not really home, but keeps him here. And that's awesome. Very exciting, because cornerback is like the position that we have to like build a room right now. Our cornerback room is not great. It's kind of JD Drew and Marquez Vick, who played a lot as a freshman at the nickel spot. And then Micah Brewer was starting on the other side, but he, I think, is finally graduating, and he struggled this past year. So, Oladokun, I definitely want. Low persuasion chance. Reason for leaving is playing time. I mean, that makes sense. Let's see if we can keep him. He has not been persuaded. He would like to leave. Okay. So we got 3 left. Banks isn't a bad player. He's kind of, like I said, he is just kind of a depth guy. But I think I would be interested in keeping him. So I think, actually, I'm going to use... I don't have a ton of interest in keeping Austin Carter around. I mean, he doesn't look terrible, but he is a 62 overall, and I kind of want to build a better receiver than that. And Mason Caldwell, a 56 defensive tackle. Yeah, he's wanting to leave because of playing time. That's fine. So I have 3 more persuasions, so I'll use one on Malik Johnson. He's one of the players that we started with. We'll see if we can keep him. He did decide to stay. Sick. All right, so he'll stick around as a super depth option at quarterback this upcoming season. So that'll be nice. We'll try and keep Dontrell Banks. He has a high persuasion chance, so we'll see if it works. It did. Awesome. Another guy that's decided to stick around. And then I do kind of want to keep the cornerback room more or less intact. This dude's a normal dev and doesn't have any abilities, but 88 speed is decent. Or 88 speed at 6'2" is good. His change of direction is not great, though. It looks like his coverage and awareness is also not great, but I have slightly more interest in him than the other 2 here, so we'll just throw a persuasion at Javonte Marshall, and he decided to stay. Awesome. Cool. So another guy's sticking around. Now, what's kind of sad is there's a non-zero chance, I guess, that we end up cutting this guy or encouraging him to transfer later in the offseason. So Dante Carter is leaving due to brand exposure. He's hitting the transfer portal. He'll be greatly missed. He was a great player for us at that free safety spot. Made a lot of plays. Was our leading tackler in, I think, at least 1 game this year. Would fly all over the field. Had a couple picks. He was awesome. Thank you for your service, Dante. You will be greatly missed. And Aaron Fenimore, one of the anchors of our revamped offensive line last year at the center spot, did a fantastic job for us as well. He will also be greatly missed. I wish we could have kept him, but is what it is. JD Drew was our number 1 corner. He'll probably be our number 1 corner again this year unless we pull someone crazy in the transfer portal, so very exciting. Malik Johnson, as I said, staying. He didn't play much. Oladokun also didn't play much, but he's leaving because of playing time. That's okay. He was the 2nd freshman quarterback we brought in last year anyway. It was him and Bruce Acho, who I think also had a chance of transferring out, but it looks like he didn't want to at the end of the day, so that's good. And Dontrell Banks, Javonte Marshall, we decided to keep. Austin Carter, Mason Caldwell will leave. Best of luck to you guys. Wade Preston, the punter, is graduating. He was a great punter for us. I mean, 93 kick power, 91 kick accuracy is very, very good. And he did a great job. Salute to you, Wade. You'll be missed. Travis Miller was, he played a little bit, I think, in the first season. But he is finally graduating on his way out. Didn't play much at all last year with Clark Brooks and Bickley and Marquise Taylor all getting involved in the run game. Miller just kind of took a back seat, so he's transferring out. Micah Brewer, I have a real love-hate relationship with Micah Brewer. He was a good corner. He was, in a lot of instances, he did a good job, but How many of those long touchdowns to the back corner of the end zone did he give up last season? I mean, holy crap. I was very frustrated with him at times, a lot of times this last season. So he is graduating, and hopefully we'll have someone a little better suited to take his spot. Quincy Foster didn't play much, one of our linebackers. He's graduating. Isaiah Griffin, he was our starting right tackle this past year. He is graduating. Salute to you. DeAndre White played quite a bit, I think, the first season, and then took a back seat last year with Burris and Dunsmore taking up most of the defensive tackle reps. But he was a very good contributor for us in the first season. Jason Nolan, the leader of the defense, the Mike linebacker. Was he a guy that wanted to transfer? I'm already forgetting now the first offseason. I feel like he might have wanted to transfer. We were able to keep him around. But he was very good up the middle, was always near the top of the team in tackles, it seemed. Great, did a great job for us. Wyatt Foster, another one, just, was steady. Not incredible, but was good for us as well at the Sam linebacker spot. Brett Lawson, the fullback, he will be missed as well. Did a good job. Even got involved in the passing game a little bit. The big fella, 6'3", 253. Very nice. Will be missed. Darius Holmes, also one of those linebackers that played a little bit here and there, graduating. Tyquan Reed, he was starting, I believe, both seasons for us and did a good job, I thought. Up front, the O-line was actually a kind of a sneaky strength for us in the run game. Towards the end of the year, the pass blocking took a huge step back for some reason, so that was annoying. But, yeah, he was one of those guys that we started with. Ended up having a nice career for himself these 2 seasons. Darnell Hayes, another receiver, or a receiver, I should say, who is graduating, rather. Was very involved in the first season, less so in the second season, so he'll be missed. Marquise Taylor, one of those running backs that did get some carries and was also a kick returner for us and had a kick return for a touchdown, I believe, as well. So he had a nice 2 seasons. Now it looks like we're getting to some of the transfers. Harvey Broussard III, one of the receivers that we got super late in the offseason last year. 6'3", 91 speed. He was great for us. Had a couple very nice catches deep down the field. You'll be missed, sir. Zion Chris, the quarterback this past year, he was everything we could have hoped for. He did a great job. Despite being a pure runner archetype, I thought he did very well through the air in most of the games last season. There were a few hiccup games here and there, but Zion was awesome and will be missed for sure. Marcus Burris, you could argue this dude might have been the most impactful player on the defense. I mean, I felt like every game there was at least a few plays this dude was doing something, disrupting, getting a sack, shedding blockers, and bringing down a running back or something. So Marcus Burris Jr. was incredible for us, and he'll be greatly missed. Jordan Faison, the other receiver, the Notre Dame transfer that we kind of just got lucky and snagged in the portal. He didn't really have any other interest, if I remember correctly. So it was very encouraging that we were able to lure him over. He was the other one along with Broussard that we got late in the offseason. So yeah, Faison was very good. Had at least 1 or 2 huge games for us. Was otherwise very dependable. You'll be missed. Thank you for your service. And Blake Smith, the tight end, he ended up being very, very solid for us. He ended up getting the ball quite a bit through the air and did a good job with the ball in his hands. So yeah, Blake Smith, another one of those transfers. You can see here, just these transfers here. Broussard and Faison at receiver, Blake Smith at tight end, and then Chris at quarterback and Burris at defensive tackle. All guys that just came here for their last season, and they all definitely made an impact, including the guys up at the top here who decided to transfer out at the end of the day, Carter and Fenimore. And Drew, who is staying around. Carter and Fenimore were also both incredible impact players for us. So, yeah, those are the people that are leaving. They will all be missed. I'm also encouraged by the fact that some of the guys who I think were threatening to transfer all year, like Peyton Kirkland or Derek Simmons, the edge rusher, who was awesome for us. It looks like he's just deciding to stay outright. We didn't even have to persuade him. So that's very exciting because he was a game wrecker at times last year. And he's a guy that I think can continue to develop a lot. I believe he had star div. So yeah, Carter and Fenimore will be missed along with the guys down at the bottom who graduated. But yeah, that's it for the guys that are leaving. It wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. Although losing the guys that we're losing is definitely going to hurt. We're going to have to try and reload as best we can, but that's what the transfer portal's for, so we'll see how that goes. No Freeport Tech Marlins were drafted, which is a bummer. I thought there might be an off chance, like a phase on. Maybe a Chris would be a late round pick just because he put up some numbers for us, or Burris, the defensive tackle. I thought there was a chance we'd see someone get drafted, but does not look like the NFL wanted any Marlins this season. Unfortunate. Still waiting on our first drafted player. Let's just take a look at where we are with the remaining freshmen we're going after. We have 900 hours to work with, which I believe is more than we had last offseason, but I might be wrong on that. So let's look at the freshmen that are still on the board that haven't committed yet. Ava Bacon, I mean, we're the only one that even offered him a scholarship. I don't think we're going to have to put any hours into him to be able to land him, so let's hope that stays that way. Who else we going after? Oh, yeah, Kobe Thompson, the fullback. We offered him a scholarship. It looks like we still haven't moved up on his board at all, so that's probably a guy we'll have to put hours into to get some movement. Chester Elias, we're the only school that offered him a scholarship as well, so we may not have to put any hours into him. That would be nice. Josh Najvar, we've been fighting Cal and Stanford for him, so I'm probably going to have to put hours into him to keep winning that race. Which is unfortunate because it's hours that I can't put towards transfers. Keeman Ngakwe, we're the only school that's offered him a scholarship still, so hopefully won't have to do much there. Taylor Kosar, similar deal, the 3-star gem. Hopefully we won't have to put any hours into him. Who else we got? It looks like we might get Corcoran. I literally haven't put any hours into him, but I offered him a scholarship, I think, like in the before the first week or something, like in that first recruiting period where you can only scout and offer scholarships. I think I offered him a scholarship there, and I ended up getting Merrick, so I didn't prioritize Corcoran at all. But it looks like we might land him anyway because no one else seems to want him. Ray Pepper, we are also the only school that offered him a scholarship. That's crazy how many guys we're the only school that seems to be pursuing them. It's very exciting though because it means we have a good chance of landing them. All right, so that's where we're at with the freshmen that are remaining. Looks like maybe only 1 or 2 guys I'll have to actually like put hours into, including potentially Reinbolt, the punter. But that means there's a lot of hours that I'll be able to get from the transfer portal. I think I might. It's a little risky to not scout guys, but I think I might. That seemed to work pretty well last year, where the transfer portal rankings seemed to be pretty true to value as opposed to the freshman rankings. So I think I may just opt to not scout guys and try and just get as many as I can on the board while still being able to max out the hours into each of them. So I'll do the math and all that and figure out how many guys that is. And I'll see you guys on the other side of it because it's going to take a while. Okay, this is insane. There are only 3 dudes in the entire transfer portal who have me, Freeport Tech, in their top 10. That is insane. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to get creative and try and jump our way into some top 10s because this is it. It's just these guys. It's just Andrew Paul, Trey Owens, and Dylan Brown Turner. That is it. Those are the only transfers that have Freeport Tech in their top 10 to start. That is ridiculous. I don't know if this is a glitch or if this is just like this, or if this is just team guys just aren't super interested in coming to Freeport Tech. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get super creative with this. Jeez, oh Pete. Last offseason, most of the guys I added to the board had us in their top group. At least a lot of them did. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. All right, well, this offseason's off to a great start. Oh my gosh. Okay, that took forever, but here's where I'm at now. So what I did was for the remaining freshmen that I have, like Ava Bacon, I put 10 hours into. So I only put like 5 or 10 hours into the guys that I don't have any real competition for, such as Ava Bacon, Chester Elias, and but guys like Najvar, I put 50 hours into. I also put 50 hours into Kobe Thompson. What I'm hoping is that for both Kobe Thompson and the punter, Terrence Reinbolt, I'm hoping what'll happen is I'll just jump to their top school with the 50 hours I put in, and then I'll just be able to take the hours out of them, and I'll basically be able to get them to commit just based off that. That is what I'm hoping for. And then I also put into Ray Pepper, put 5 hours, and I don't think I put any into, I didn't put any into Corcoran because honestly I'm not too concerned on if I land him or not. But like Taylor Kosar, I put 5 hours into as well. So for all the freshman recruits still on the board, I at least put something into them to kind of maintain to them that I'm interested, basically. But those are points I may take out of them in subsequent weeks. But for the transfers, I had to favorite some of them because there's the weird glitch where if you have like a transfer freshman, they don't show up in the transfer tab for some stupid reason. So here's where we're at. So Andrew Paul, he was one of the guys you saw in that first transfer portal screen. He's one of the only guys, one of the 3 guys in the entire country who has any interest in us out of the transfer portal off the bat. The other was a quarterback, but when I added him to the board, Afa Bacon activated his deal breaker, so I didn't want to do that. Our quarterback room is sitting at 4 if we land Bacon, so that's not a lot, but I think it's enough. So Andrew Paul, the elusive bruiser from Dallas, Texas, where he's originally from. He's a junior, but I would love to land another running back to pair with Duke Clark. Jalen Brooks is still going to be around for another year. Antoine Bickley hopefully will develop some. And then we have, of course, the speedy developmental freshman Tavares James coming in. So I'm hoping I can land another running back this cycle, if this transfer portal cycle. If not Paul, I'll definitely go try and land another one. But Paul was interested in us off rip, so, we don't have much work. But as you can see, the other schools that he's interested in are incredible. So it's going to be tough to land him, but I'm going to at least try. Ashton Bethel Roman, I believe he's a Texas A&M receiver. He's a name I definitely recognize, and he's listed as a speedster, so that's something I would like to land, obviously. And then Shelton Sampson Jr. caught my eye, a 6'4 speedster. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Merriweather, who we tried to land last last transfer cycle and didn't. So that would be a nice land for us. Trying to revamp the receiver room a little more even than we have already. Brady Prescorn, I'm a Michigan fan. This dude's at Michigan right now. He's a very talented tight end who just hasn't quite found the field yet. And I would love to land him. 6'6", 247. We'd only get him for 1 year. But where our tight end room is at right now, our best tight end is LeCount, who's like a 63 overall or something like that. He's not very high overall at all. So even if we land Elias, Prescorn, I would like to bring in. He'd start for 1 year, and that would allow LeCount, ideally Elias, and whoever else to develop another year. Josh Janowski, I could use another guard on the interior, even though I got 2 already. He looks good. I like that he's agile. He's not very big, which is a little bit concerning, but he does come in as a sophomore, so he's got 2 years to develop some. Chris Foreman, the edge rusher, a pure power guy, pretty highly regarded. Most of these guys that I added, because I don't have anyone that's actually interested in me at these positions, a lot of these guys are kind of among the top group of guys at their position. There's a few that were lower down the board that I prioritized just because they were younger or whatever, or they were more the archetype I wanted. But he's a sophomore transfer, number 2 edge rusher in the transfer portal, so he would be a nice land. Not the stiffest competition for him either. South Carolina looks like they'd be the toughest one. Semu Taumanupepe. He's from Humble, Texas. Our Tier 3 pipeline is activated on him. Pretty highly regarded defensive tackle. Similar to the tight end room, we have Dunsmore, who will be our number 1 D tackle. Hopefully he'll develop quite a bit because he's still like a 69 overall, I think. And then we had the 2 true freshmen coming in. But it's hard to bank on true freshmen to contribute all the time. So he's a guy I would like to land. He'd be like Burris. He'd come in for 1 year. He's 6'3", 381, a massive human being, pure power archetype. He'd be perfect up the middle. Charles Ross, the 2nd lurker linebacker. Honestly, one thing that caught my attention was his hair color for some reason. It's kind of got a reddish tint to it. So to me, that means he's got to be a baller. He's from Houston, but I don't see our pipeline thing next to him. So I'm a little concerned that we would not have a chance for him. Like, we wouldn't have the pipeline working for us, which would suck, because we should, unless there's another Houston, Texas I don't know about. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing with him specifically, but he's on the board. Devon Keys, a lurker linebacker, another one we could kind of use. The linebacker room is pretty full. I probably don't need to prioritize linebacker too much, but he looks like he could be pretty good, and I'm always looking for help at the linebacker spot for sure. Jamari DeLoach, a corner, bump and run sophomore, and Brahim Long Jr., another bump and run sophomore corner. I feel like the bump and run guys tend to be pretty fast, which is nice. They both have good schools on their top schools list. Again, these are guys that are more or less near the top of the, and we've got the number 9 corner, the number 18 corner in the transfer portal. So guys that are good for sure. And then I didn't land a free safety in the high school recruiting cycle this time around. So I added 2. Anquan Fagans, who is a younger guy. He'd come in as a sophomore, a freshman transfer, as you can see there. Coverage specialist archetype is good. And Zaquan Patterson, he's a name I remember Michigan recruiting out of high school. He ended up going to Miami, and I think he has since left that program. I don't know where he ended up now, but he is definitely an interesting case. I'm looking at Devon Keys, like, do I really need... I added him to the board because I think he's from like LSU or something. I figured he's got to be a good player. But where are we at with the linebacker room? So we don't have, oh gosh, we have no Sam linebackers with Foster graduating, but Ostergaard is a guy that I would play there, I think. I think we had him as our backup Sam last year. We've got Kennedy, who was good last year as a true freshman. Banks, who we brought back, he'll be the backup. Merrick is a true freshman development. Corcoran, we're probably going to be able to land. And then Keys. And then at will, we have Kafka and Ostergaard. Goodwin is kind of like one of those depth guys that's pretty good. And we have McClure as well. So honestly, you know what? I might take Keys off the board. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Keys off the board. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go probably add another running back, because I don't know if our odds of landing Mr. Andrew Paul are going to be super high looking at our competition there, but I'm going to try for him at least. But I might add another running back to the board, so I'll disappear again and I'll come back when I find whoever I want to add. Okay, I added one more guy to the board, Justin Marshall, the East-West playmaker running back, 5'10", 182. Gotta imagine he's got some speed as well. He's a junior, not the stiffest competition, but he's from Merrillville, Indiana, so Indiana will be undoubtedly a player for him. Already his top school. So here's what I'm going to do. I did calculate it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And if my math is correct, which I believe it is, 13 times 55 is 715, and that's how many hours I have. So that will allow for me to offer each of these guys a scholarship and put 50 hours into all of them. So let's go through. I think insta-commit is only a thing for guys that have you as their top school. So obviously not a thing for us. So I'm going to go through, add all 50 hours to each of them, and maybe we will get lucky and jump into some of these races, because I can't believe like none of these transfers are even remotely interested in us. 3 transfers in all of college football are interested in coming to Freeport Tech, a team that just had an insane turnaround where they played in the conference championship game for the American. And I know we had a rough end to the season, but golly, you'd think we'd have some people interested in coming here. So it's a weird spot that we're kind of in here. Very different from last offseason. Like I said, last offseason, the transfer portal was a lot easier for me to navigate, because it was just basically, okay, which guys at any positions are even remotely interested in coming here? And there were a lot of guys that had the little green circle next to them that had us in their top group already. But it's not the case this year. It's a different season, apparently. So weird spot we're in. But these are the guys we'll be going after off rip. Obviously, this board will probably change a lot week to week. Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever, as it did last year for me to record. But for you guys, it'll be a pretty streamlined viewing experience. So this is where we're at. We'll sim ahead and we'll see what happens through the first week. Doesn't look like anyone locked us out, so that's good. Agakwe and Thompson have advanced. All right, so Thompson has reached his top 8. And we are his #1 school, so I may even be able to take those 50 hours out of him now. We'll have to see, I guess. And then it looks like Paul reaches top 8. We are in that race. Bethel Roman reaches top 8. It's us in Louisiana, Nevada. Samson reaches top 8. See, this is the thing. This transfer portal window is so crazy because it's only 4 weeks and these bars move like crazy. I don't know which of these races to like just bow out of. Like off rip, Deloach is not looking great. We're not even in his top like 5 there. I don't know. I'll have to go through and kind of look at the guys individually, but it's nice to see no one locked us out at least. It looks like we're in a good spot for Patterson off rip, for Charles Ross the second off rip. And we're in second place in a lot of these, so maybe we're not in as bad a shape as it looks like off the start here, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess no one locked us out, so that's a positive. So it's not looking great in a lot of these races, and by great I just mean we're not leading for most of these guys, but I'm going to give it another week before I start panicking and changing targets. But the one I am bowing out on is Jamari Deloach. This dude is, we're not catching any of the other schools on this list. Most of the other races that we're behind in were at least in like second place. It's just a matter of like Brahim Long, for example. This isn't looking great, but I don't know. I'm just gonna stay on it. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll be able to kind of snag him. But I'm taking Deloach off the board. And who I am adding to the board is Jaleel Hurley, who I'm like 95% sure is a guy who we tried to get in the transfer portal last offseason. He was the guy we added like the last week, and then North Carolina jumped us for him because they also went in on him on the last week, and he ended up going there instead. But no one has gone after him yet. He's 6'2", 186, bump and run type, so I'm sure he's got some speed and is probably good in man coverage as well. I would love to be able to just run more man coverage. I'll still mix zone in, but I like running man coverage personally because then I know every receiver is accounted for. The problem is you need really good corners to run man a lot. So Hurley would be a nice add if we can get him. So we're going to jump into his race. As you can see, my target list is extremely high. I've basically maxed out my board. So I'm going to give it another week. There isn't really anyone ready to visit yet either from the transfer portal. It's all just like these guys who are the freshmen that I've been going after that are kind of the last remnants, I guess. So I'm going to try and get Najvar to commit. Maybe Pepper will commit. I just have hours into them because I can't really add anyone else to the board right now. So I'm just going to kind of leave it as this for another week. And we'll sim on ahead and see we'll see how these races kind of fare here. As you can see, like second place for Andrew Paul, second place for Bethel Roman, second place for Sheldon Sampson, second place for Prescorn, second place for Janowski, second place for Foreman, second place for Talman Opepe, first place for Ross. One of the few that I think it's like the only one we're leading. Oh no, one of 2 we're leading. Raheem Long, you already saw in second. Figgins in second behind UAB. Patterson first. Marshall second behind Miami, Ohio. So like we're in these races. I just don't know how much I could expect to actually gain ground in any of these schools. And I also am only going to be able to get, 4 guys in for any visits I want to schedule. So I don't know. It's not ideal. We'll sim out another week, though, because these are the guys I want to try and get. It might be a little fruitless to keep this many guys on the board that I'm not leading for. But we can always find more guys in a future week. So I'm going to ride with these guys another week, see how it goes, and we'll go from there. Got a commitment. Josh Najvar, the freshman 3-star right tackle from Frisco, Texas, has finally committed. A great add. We needed a tackle in this class. He is going to come in. I don't know if he'll start right away. It'll depend on how he stacks up with, I think we had 2 freshman tackles come in last cycle. So they'll get an offseason of training under them, and they'll improve ideally. So I don't think Najvar will start, but I'm very excited to get him nonetheless because we got to build that depth on the offensive line. It's, in my opinion, one of, if not the most important position outside of quarterback on a team. The O-line's got to be good, and Najvar is a great add to that room. Any others? Don't think so. Okay. So it's looking like no one's locking us out. We have a lot of guys who just reached their top 5, so we're probably going to have some decisions to make in terms of visits, I assume. Are we in any of these races anymore? Oh, we've fallen in the Andrew Paul recruitment, so may have to bow out of that one. We've overtaken Louisiana for Bethel Roman. Sampson, we're still in second behind Kansas. Prescorn, second behind Pitt. Janowski, second behind Miami. We've taken the lead in the Foreman race. All right. It looks like I don't think we gained any ground. I think we're about the same as Arizona, actually. Ross, we are still a top school, but LSU, hot on our tail. Oh, boy. Brahim Long, we're in second. North Carolina's in the race now. It's not feeling great. Looks like we gained some ground on UAB for Fagans. Okay. Patterson, we're still in first. Marshall, we're chasing Miami. Reinbold, we're top school. Hurley, Auburn jumped in the race. Gosh dang it. I was hoping we might be able to snag him, but that's not great. And, oh, I completely forgot to mention him. It slipped my mind. I added Kevin Haywood, a transfer tackle, to the board. He's massive at 6'8", 327. Raw strength archetype. Very intriguing option. I thought Penn State might jump in on him too, but it looks like they're not for now. So we emerged as his top school off rip. So got a lot of decisions to make in terms of who to bring on visits, who to cut loose, and stuff like that. It's going to be an interesting week. With Auburn jumping in the race for Hurley, I decided to just cut my losses with him, and I added Dylan Phelps. He's 6'3", 191, and that's great size for a corner. I would love to have a corner of that size on the perimeter. He's listed as a boundary corner. The corner archetypes, while I do like all the new archetypes in the game, I don't 100% know what the boundary corner means. I think these are guys that are good in like run support and stuff like that, so which makes sense given his size. But just the fact that he's 6'3", I would very much welcome his addition to the team. So he is on the board now over Hurley, and then I did also get a bunch of visits scheduled. So for this week, I've got Charles Ross II, Brady Prescorn, Shelton Sampson, and last-ditch effort for Andrew Paul, the running back. With all these great schools ahead of us, we could use a killer visit to help land him. We've fallen behind him. It's desperation. It probably is not going to end up, or there's a chance it's not going to end up helping us, and I may end up just wasting these points for nothing, but I'm willing to take that chance because honestly, it's because he's like one of the 3 guys in the country who was interested in coming to Freeport Tech. So I'm going to try for him. I also scheduled Bethel Roman, who we have taken the lead for a week 4 visit, along with Josh Janowski, the guard, and Taumanu Pepe. I'll learn how to pronounce his name if we get him as we fight Arizona for him. So we'll sim on ahead another week to the last week of the transfer portal period, and we'll see how it goes. This is definitely not going as swimmingly as last offseason, but we definitely have a chance to land some real difference makers, I think. Oh, we got a commitment. Ray Pepper, the 3-star corner from Monticello, Florida. That is awesome. Or Monticello, maybe, Florida. That is very exciting. He's a gem prospect. We've had him on the board for a while. He looks very promising, and we are very excited to have him. Welcome to the team, Pepper. As we get to our weekly advanced summary, still no one locked us out, so that's good. We'll see how it kind of looks here. So Bethel Roman, we are comfortably in the lead for now. He's visiting this week. Janowski's visiting this week. It looks like we may need a miracle if we want to beat Miami for him. We took the lead for Taumanu Pepe. That's very exciting. I wasn't expecting that. Andrew Paul has reached his top 3, so he made his top 3, but it looks like we're not going to be able to get him, so that's a bummer. Charles Ross II, LSU passed us for him. Dang it, I was really excited about him. That's not looking good. Raheem Long, Tennessee's ahead of us. Haywood has reached the top 5. It looks like we are the only school that's offered him a scholarship. Dylan Phelps, San Jose State also jumped in the mix, but it looks like we are ahead of them. So looks like I'm going to have some hours to use up in this last week. So we'll see how I decide to use them, I guess. I had one more visit slot for this week, so I gave it to Justin Marshall, the running back that we're going after. We're kind of fighting Miami for. With us likely not being able to land Andrew Paul, he's the other running back on the board. I would really like to add another running back to pair with Duke Clark this season. So we're going to try and get Marshall in for this visit. Maybe it'll help us land him. We will see. I also added another linebacker to the board since we're out on, I already forgot his name, the guy we were going after this whole time. LSU passed us. There was no way we were catching him. So Dakari Nelson, he's a Penn State transfer. Penn State always has crazy athletic linebackers for some reason. So we added Dakari Nelson to the board. We offered him a scholarship and sent the house. We'll see if we can land him. And I wanted to grab another quarterback in the portal. So AJ Maddox, he's an Ole Miss guy, backfield creator, 6'1", 190, not great size. With him not being a runner or a dual threat, I don't expect him to be particularly crazy athletic, but I just wanted another quarterback to kind of round out the room, because if we're able to jump into this race and land him out of nowhere, that would give us 5 quarterbacks in the room, which feels like a good number. 4 feels a little bit light, especially considering One of them is a guy in Johnson who I'm not really all that interested in. So, yeah, Maddox is another guy we added. I've maxed out my targets on my board, so we'll see how many I'm able to land as we advance. But transfer portal's been a crazy one this year. Like I said it earlier, it hasn't gone as smoothly as the first off season, but I still think we have a very good chance of landing some difference makers. So we'll see how it goes, baby. It's my heart's racing already, getting ready to advance to see the results. First commitment of the offseason, Ashton Bethel-Roman, the 3-star receiver from Missouri City, Texas, a Texas A&M kid. Very exciting. He's a speedy dude, and we can use all the help we can get in the receiver room, without a doubt. It'll be headlined by Jelani Watkins this season, but Bethel-Roman, I imagine, will find his way into the depth chart as well. We did get Taumanu Pepe. Again, I'll have to figure out how to pronounce his name now that he is officially committed, a 3-star defensive tackle. That's awesome. We needed a senior leader in the room. Our defensive tackle room is so young, and he's going to be great for that. Next, Adrian Corcoran, the Mike linebacker. We've kind of been going after him for not really even going after him. He's just been on the board. We offered him a scholarship. He's another Mike linebacker for the room. Thumbs up, man. I'll never complain about landing a guy from Pompano Beach, Florida is his place of origin. Chester Elias, the 3-star freshman tight end from Aurora, Illinois. Finally got him committed. We need more tight ends in the room. Right now it's basically just LeCount. So it's nice that we were able to land Elias to help us there. Next up, we got Hakeem Ngakwe, one of the other freshmen that we've been going after, the center from Pasadena, Texas. Welcome to the team. Our center room is also extremely young now with and now adding Ngakwe. We've got him and 2 guys who came in as freshmen last season. So it's or at least the one guy, I should say. Terrence Reinbold, the punter from Monument, Colorado. We got a punter. We needed a punter, and we got one. Not much else to say about it. Hopefully we don't see him much. Kobe Thompson, the fullback from Brentwood, Tennessee. The #1 fullback in the country, it turns out. I guess fullback's getting phased out, I suppose, since no one else seemed to really want him. But we'll happily take him. We have room for a fullback on the roster. I like having one. Kevin Haywood, the 3-star transfer tackle from Limerick, Pennsylvania. He's a huge man, and he will be playing tackle for us. We'll see how he slides into the depth chart. Part of the thing is I mean, it's true for every freshman that you recruit, but because I don't like really... Because right now, I want to just focus the points on getting as many guys as possible in the transfer portal. So I'm not being picky. I'm not really scouting them. I'm just betting on the rankings being pretty accurate, which worked well last offseason. It seems to be working again, hopefully, this offseason. Afa Bacon, the 3-star freshman quarterback from Compton, California. Nice add. We needed more quarterbacks, and he will be joining the likes of Haas Haney, Bruce Acho, and Malik Johnson. Next up, Taylor Kosar, the 3-star Rock Island, Illinois native edge rusher. He is a gem. He was a guy that we desperately wanted as soon as I discovered he was a gem, and very excited to add him. Next up, Brady Priestcorn, the 3-star tight end from Lake Orion, Michigan, but also from the University of Michigan. He will be our headliner in the tight end room. LeCount will most likely slide back in as his tight end 2 spot, and we now have Elias to play third, unless Elias comes in higher overall than I'm expecting. But Priestcorn, welcome to the team. A very exciting pickup. Chris Foreman from Greer, South Carolina, the edge rusher that we got. We beat out Kennesaw State, I believe, for him. Transfer edge rusher, bolstering the edge room even more, joining Simmons, McCants, and also Kosar. So welcome to the team, Chris. Zaquan Patterson, we got a safety. Thankfully, we needed a free safety. We didn't get a freshman. We kept striking out on him. Hollywood, Florida native Zaquan Patterson coming to Freeport Tech to end his college career. Very, very nice. Justin Marshall, thank God we got a running back too. The Merrillville, Indiana native. I believe did he come from Colorado State, I think, in this game? I think he was. I think he was a Colorado State guy, so very excited to land him as well. A guy to pair with Duke Clark, as we kind of saw Clark can struggle a bit with wear and tear. We'll see how Marshall's overall compares to him, since Marshall's a senior. I don't know if Clark will be higher rated than him after the offseason. We'll see, but these two will form a formidable duo in the backfield. Dylan Phelps, we got a corner as well, the 6'3" transfer from Las Vegas, Nevada. A very nice land. We needed cornerback help, and we struggled in the transfer portal. Unfortunately, again, I feel like we landed JD Drew in the transfer portal, but I feel like there were a couple others that we tried to land, and Drew was the only one we were able to lure over. So Phelps is a very needed addition to a position group that we're desperately trying to improve. Dakari Nelson, we got him, the will linebacker from Penn State, the Livingston, Alabama native. Thank God. After we lost out on the outside linebacker we were going after initially, that LSU just boat raced us for by the end. We needed another outside linebacker. Thankfully, Dakari forgave us for taking so long to get in contact with him. So that's very exciting. It's like we got, sick. We got AJ Maddox as well, the quarterback from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So now I feel good about the state of our quarterback room. Running 5 deep. He's also young. He's going to come in as a sophomore. So he may even have some room to develop. Is that it? That is it. All right. So it looks like we got a couple guys that were on our board that chose to go elsewhere, as we got one coach upgrade as well, 10 points. We'll make sure to use those as we jump on over to the recruiting update, see who we missed out on. So it looks like Anquan Fagans, the other free safety, he's a younger guy, opted to go to UAB instead. Shelton Sampson, Kansas beat us for. Dang it, man, I really wanted him. We also lost out on Janowski to Miami, Ohio. That's a darn shame. I guess the visit wasn't enough for him. Raheem Long Jr. went to Tennessee. That isn't particularly surprising. And Andrew Paul ended up going to Oklahoma, so we struck out on him as well. So even though he was one of the only guys that even had us in his top group, as I've said about 5 times this video, he opted to go to Oklahoma instead. So huge bummer. The guys we missed on, I mean, Fagans was, I guess, maybe like, you know, his perk was that he was coming in pretty young. So we could develop him ideally while Patterson is here. We were assuming at the time we would land Patterson, which we did. So that's disappointing. We couldn't land Fagans. But Sampson being 6'4" and a speedster, that's disappointing. Janowski, I'm shocked we couldn't beat out a MAC school for him. But Miami, Ohio is a very good MAC school, so there's that. And then Long Jr., as I said, not too surprising. Neither is Andrew Paul. So ended up being a really good transfer class. So let's take a look at signing day and see what all these guys are finally. So let's start with Afa Bacon. He is an impact player. Nice. All right. So impact quarterback. Very nice. Maddox also an impact. That's very exciting. So the 2 guys that hopefully will be able to develop quite a bit. Andrew Paul was an impact player. We'll remove him from our board. Marshall also an impact player, so that's awesome. James, for being a developmental guy, I wish his dev trait was better. But Marshall coming in with an impact dev trait, so that will help with this offseason training ahead of him since we're only going to have him for a year. Kobe Thompson, normal dev. He's a fullback. That's not too surprising. Shelton Sampson was a star. Dang it, man. I mean, he's a guy who's only going to be here for 1 year, so he only was going to have 1 year to really develop, but still, that sucks. Oh my God, Joe Bethel Roman is a star. How about that? All right, so that makes me feel a little bit better about it for sure. So Bethel Roman will hopefully develop quite a bit this first offseason, joining Ofisa Vea, who is also a star dev. Brady Priestcorn's a star dev as well. Holy crap, I did not know that. That's awesome. So at 6'6", 247 as well. I'm very excited about being able to throw the ball to him. Elias is an impact dev as well, so that's awesome. A freshman coming in with impact. Najvar, only a normal dev. Kevin Haywood's a star dev. Oh, we are landing some absolute menaces in the portal. This is very exciting, man. This is especially guys like this that are going to be around for not just this next season. He could, and at 6'8", 327, got incredible size as well. That is awesome. We already knew about these guys. Janowski is an impact dev. Too bad we couldn't win that race. Ngakwe is a normal dev. Kozar is an impact dev. Nice. He's a gem. I was hoping he'd be something. Chris Foreman also an impact dev. Very nice. Kalu in the corner we knew about impact. And Tomanu Pepe is also an impact dev. All right. We're getting some players. McClure impact we knew already. Takari Nelson's a star dev. Oh my gosh. Yes. This is awesome. I can't believe how many guys we've got with dev traits like this. Maybe this is part of like why they're ranked pretty high. Maybe dev trait is actually like taken into account. It must be, because we swung pretty high on the board for a lot of these guys, and most of them are coming in with good dev traits. Corcoran, only a normal dev. That isn't too surprising, I suppose. We're looking at the cornerback room here. Pepper is a star dev, a true freshman star dev corner with 90 speed and rock solid coverage ability off rip. That's very exciting. I can't wait for him to get on the field. Raheem Long is an impact dev. Too bad we couldn't win that race. Dylan Phelps, only a normal dev. It isn't too surprising. He was like the backup option at corner, so yeah, he was pretty far down our board for preferred transfer corners, but still nonetheless excited about him. Saquon Patterson is a star dev, so we'll get a nice year of development out of him. And Fagans is an impact dev. That's too bad because he was going to come in with 3 more years ahead of him, but oh well, is what it is. Brady we knew about, and I guess we'll just look at Brian Bolt. He's a normal dev. He's a punter, not too surprising. So quite a class we put together. Very, very exciting. Perfect timing. We got one more coaching upgrade, so we will increase starting interest from linebackers. It's the only one that we didn't get upgraded yet, and that will get us to level 2, tier 2, I should say, at every position group for the recruiter tree. So that's very exciting. Time for position changes. We got Afa Bacon, who we will absolutely be making a quarterback. Although it's always hilarious when these dual threat guys are like pretty good running backs, even though they're like 6'3". So yeah, Bacon, you will slide right over to quarterback. And then the other one, Stephen Merrick, I like you as a Mike, even though it looks like it's far from your best position. You'd be very nicely suited as a edge rusher, it looks like. But I recruited you to be a Mike, and that is what you're going to be for us. He could be a guy we kind of move around the formation. I mean, he's built very well at 5'11", 242, so he's in a good spot there. Don't think we really need to look at... Oh, well, Justin Marshall's coming in as an 84 overall. He might be our RB1, actually, this upcoming season, so that's awesome. I guess we could take an opportunity to look at all these guys. So Haney looks like he's going to be our starter pretty definitively. Bacon and Maddox are coming in at 73, which is cool. And then Malik Johnson and Acho sliding in behind them. Tavares James a 64 overall. That's not surprising, but he has 90 speed, so that's nice. Thompson's a 65. Nice. Ofisa Vea is coming in as a 74. Now, unfortunately, because he's a freshman, he won't be able to partake in off-season training, so he's going to be stuck at a 74. So Bethel Roman will most likely pass him. Montgomery even might as well, but I might still slide Avea into the slot or something like that. I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time keeping him off the field for sure. Oh, I didn't even notice him down there. Kukwa coming as a 65 overall. He's a gem though, so an impact dev. He has room to develop. Pre-scoring 78 overall, very nice. Elias coming in as a 64 overall is good. And yeah, Eric LeCount's a 63 or 62. He's actually getting a little bit of a bump. So he is going to be a guy that we're looking to upgrade here. Now, in terms of position changes, this is definitely what I'm looking at is the O-line. So Walker's a 67. Blizzard's coming in as a 64. Could be our #1 left guard. We're going to need some development out of these guys this offseason. Yikes, it's a little slim pickings out here at the moment. Gage coming in as a 70 is wild. I was actually more excited about Blizzard looking at him as a prospect, but Gage is actually better than Blizzard, so that's kind of wild. But I do see Dante Korn. He's going to get the offseason development. He'll likely get a little better. Oh, we're loaded at tackle. Oh my gosh. So Kirkland is currently a right tackle in addition to Haywood. So I will probably slide one of them. Which one's better at pass blocking? It looks like... all right, it looks like Kirkland's better. So actually what I'm going to do... I don't really like switching their positions on the O-line because like I feel like it doesn't matter too much, but... We'll slide Kirkland over to left tackle. That's where he played last season anyway, and he'll be very nicely suited over there. But Haywood, I mean, he looks like he's probably going to start for us at right tackle. So our tackles look good at least. It's the interior that we're going to need some development on here from the off-season. So Derek Simmons is at an 84 at the moment. Foreman coming in at an 80 is awesome. And then Kosar is a 70, McCann's a 69. So probably going to be... Yeah, so we'll slide Foreman to the right side. Again, I feel like it doesn't make too much of a difference, but I think this will also help our depth chart kind of fill in automatically. And then we'll slide Kosar, I guess, over to the left edge just to kind of round out, because we got the two transfer guys, ironically, in Simmons and Foreman, and then they'll be backed up by guys that we recruited out of high school in McCants and Kosar. So that is that. The tackle room, yeah, Tomano Pepe is going to be the man in the middle. He's very slow at 48 speed, but that's not surprising given he's 6'3", 381. I mean, 95 strength is insane. So that's awesome. Dunsmore will back him up. And then Corner and Kalu looks like they have a good chance to slide behind him, although these guys will all get... Reed Harmon's a star dev, so he might actually develop quite a bit this upcoming offseason. Linebacker is definitely something we're going to have to address because our Sam linebackers, we only got 2 of them. Mike linebackers are currently Kennedy, backed up by Corcoran, Banks, Merrick, and Robinson. We have a lot of wills, don't we? We sure do. So I want to move Ostergaard over to Sam because that's where he kind of played last year. And he was, I think, very good at that spot personally. He did a great job. And like I said, every time he was in the game, I felt like he was making insane plays. So we'll slide him over to there. And then Kafka and McClure. I'll slide McClure over to Sam as well. It looks like he's about the same at both. But just to kind of balance out the positions a little better. So now we've got Dakari Nelson and Kafka at will. And we got Ostergaard and McClure at Sam. And then Kennedy, Corcoran, Banks, Merrick at the Mike spot. Our corners, I think these guys are all going to stay corners. So JD Drew and Phelps is coming in at an 80 overall. That's a lot higher than I was expecting, but that's awesome. So yeah, those 2 will be our top 2 guys. Vic will likely take the nickel spot again this year. And then it'll be some combination of Sanders, Caudill, and Pepper. I'll probably prioritize Caudill and Pepper on the depth chart just because, although Sanders is going to get the offseason training, so maybe not. But I want to get these guys on the field, even if it's just special team stuff, because I want to get these guys on the field, man. They're exciting players. Patterson will be a 78 overall, who'll be backed up by the other Patterson, who did play a little bit last year with Dante Carter getting hurt periodically or stuff like that. And then strong safety, Freeney will be back at a 71. Cortez Brady's a 70 overall as a true freshman. That's awesome. So he'll likely be the backup, although there's a chance Scott passes him, I suppose. And then, yeah, kicker will be Clay Bishop again. Maybe I'll explore recruiting a kicker in the next cycle. I mean, 85 kick power is fine, but 66 kick accuracy leaves quite a bit to be desired. I think we could improve there. And Rybolt's coming in at 79 overall, 89 power, 82 accuracy. So that's awesome. All right. Got position changes done. On to the next week. Duke Clark upgraded his dev trait to a star. Oh my gosh, yes, that's awesome. I kind of forgot that that's something that can happen, although I think we may have seen it last offseason, actually. I always forget it's a possibility. That's super exciting. Duke Clark's already a guy that we are very excited about. He was only a sophomore last year. He's got 2 more years left, so yeah, baby, I'm pumped. Haney will remain the starting quarterback, but Maddox putting in the work. +5 overall. Added to his throw power, so we've now got 3 quarterbacks because Acho is up to a 91 as well. We have 3 quarterbacks with 90+ throw power. And then the accuracies are all about the same, but Max's deep accuracy is something, man. Okay, so if something happens to Haney, which with him being a runner and a guy that we're going to try and run around with a lot, it's entirely possible that he may sit out from time to time due to injury, although I hope not. Maddox looks like he could be a very promising backup, so that's very exciting. I'm sure if you look at like their running abilities, yeah, juke moves a little better, spin moves a little better, break tackles better. Yeah, stuff like the running ability. Haney's going to be pretty untouchable in that regard at least, but good to see that. I'm glad we landed Maddox. He's a very intriguing backup option. Acho looks solid as well. Duke Clark got +4 overall. So that's awesome. Added +1 to his speed, so he's up to 91 speed. So him and Marshall are actually the same overall now. So I guess it'll just come down to feeling which one I make the starter. But they look like they're both going to be very good options for us. So they're both an 85 overall. Their agility and change of direction. Yeah, Clark put in that work this offseason. Look at the gains he got at these attributes. Yeah, I might give him the nod, even though Marshall also looks very good. Brooks up to a 73. Bickley got a couple overall points higher, up to a 73. That's nice to see. And then Griggs +2. Thompson doesn't partake because he's a freshman. Jelani Watkins up to an 85 overall. Doesn't have a whole lot to improve on in terms of his explosiveness, obviously, but added some to agility, change of direction, strength. Catching got +6. Catching traffic went up. Spec catch went up 6. Route running didn't improve much. Man, he has 97 jumping. That's nuts. Ashton Bethel Roman has 99 jumping now. Holy crap. All right. That's awesome. So Watkins looks like he's going to be good with the ball in his hands once again. So yeah, he'll be the #1 guy in our receiver room by far. Bethel Roman will be second, and then Montgomery Maggio, who's another freshman that we got last offseason. Looks like he got the red shirt this year. He barely played, but he's up to a 71 as well. Put in quite a bit of work. I'll probably prioritize him in the depth chart over Montgomery for sure. And then we'll see. I already forgot what Vea was, but Vea will probably be our third guy. Pre-scoring got up to an 82. LeCount up 6 points. That's awesome. Got quite a bit. Got a little bit more speed, which is nice because he's lacking in that department for sure compared to other guys. Even though he was a solid receiving tight end for us last season, his route running still leaves a bit to be desired for sure. So pre-scoring will be the #1 tight end. LeCount will likely be the second. And then even though I think Elias is lower than a 68 overall, I'll probably slide him in as our third. Kirkland +4 overall. He's up to an 83. Awesome. Tyron Davis. Only +1 is a little disappointing considering he is an impact dev, but we don't quite need him yet. He can still kind of develop behind Kirkland. Abbott up to 66. I don't think he's going to be... Okay, Whiteheart went up to a 73. That's awesome. We needed that. Didn't get any better at strength. His awareness went way up, though, which is probably good for a center. It looks like his run blocking and lead blocking all got better. +11 lead blocking. Holy crap. Stamina went up as well. So, yeah, Whiteheart will most likely be our starting center this season. Dante Korn got +7. So, yeah, he'll probably be starting either at left guard or right guard for us. And then Kevin Haywood went up +5. Esposito went up +3. He'll be the first sub at either tackle spot, I believe. Given he's a pass protector, he'll be solid at the left tackle spot, even though he's a right tackle. And then the other guys we don't care too much about. But Haywood up to 97 strength is crazy. And then it looks like the other... Esposito's a very well-rounded guy, it looks like. Even his run blocking isn't terrible. Whereas Haywood, his pass block finesse leaves a bit to be desired. But he's on the right side, so that's not the most concerning thing in the world. Derek Simmons up to a 87 now. My gosh, as if this dude could get any better. Power moves went up +4. Finesse moves aren't great, but he's a power guy, so that doesn't matter too much. Foreman up to an 82 overall. McCounts as well, putting in some work, up +4. So he'll be a guy that hopefully we'll see a little more of this year. Didn't play too much as a freshman. +6 strength. Good moves and such. Yeah, very, very good work there. Tamana Pepe up to an 83. Reed Harmon up to a 72. Dunsmore didn't get any points higher. That's disappointing, man. It's really disappointing. He had a good year last year, and yet he got surpassed by Reed Harmon in terms of overall. We'll see how I want to put the depth chart together, but Ostergaard up to a 77. Awesome. Kennedy up to a 76. Banks up to a 71. So, yeah, Kennedy will be starting at our Mike spot for sure. Dakari Nelson up to an 81. Has 89 speed. That's awesome. Kafka up 1 to 74. That's very good. I wonder if his pass rushing got any better. It did. He did get some bumps there, so that's good. JD Drew up to an 84. Phelps up to an 82. Vic up to a 71. How about Stephon Thorne? Getting +7. He's slow, but he's good at a lot of other things, it looks like, so that's very good. And then, looks like the rest of these guys aren't going to be much for us, I don't think. Patterson up to an 82. Awesome. And then we got the other guys behind him. Paul Freeney up to a 74. Still didn't get any speed upgrades, which is disappointing, but that's all right. He'll still be all right for us. Bishop got +4 kick power. Nice to see. Ryan Bolt didn't partake because he's a punter. So that is the training upgrades. A lot of guys putting in a lot of work. So we're looking a little bit improved across the board. I did have to make a few cuts, but I figured it wasn't even worth it to show you guys. It was just like those end of bench guys that are still left over from the first season. So we're down to 85 now, as you can see here. So we are ready to go for this upcoming season. And we won't be messing with conferences yet. I'd like to win the American before I think about making a jump, so we'll be sticking in the American for another season here. So similar to the transfer portal, it's a weird situation where there's not a ton of guys who have like top 10 interest in us off rip, but the guys that do are pretty highly rated, like a lot of 4-star guys even. Actually, I'll go through position by position so I don't like get myself screwed up because I didn't add them in necessarily the position order. But Ian Hugo, 4-star quarterback from Radcliffe, Kentucky, 6'2", 198. I already did all the scouting ahead of time because it just took a while. But, you know, 84 throw power isn't great. 80 speed's not bad. Accuracy's all in the 70s. Like, he looks solid for sure. Like, it's a weird situation where there just isn't, like, a ton of interest in us, but the interest that exists is among pretty highly rated guys. And again, 4-star running back Terrell Washington. We're his number 4 school. off rip. I'm not super intrigued by him because of 85 speed, but he looks very, very talented, has a lot of abilities and such. And then I added Maurice Enigbare because actually I'll show you guys my my needs real quick, just so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from. 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, 2 tackles, 3 guards in total between left and right, an edge rusher, 2 D tackles, 2 will linebackers, 2 free safeties, and a strong safety. So those are kind of the positions I prioritized. So Enigbare is another 4-star guy. He's not one that had interest in us initially, but I like the East-West playmaker archetype. It kind of fits my running style the best. Guys that are fast, have some moves to him, and he's 84 juke move, 89 change of direction is great already as a freshman. And he's from our pipeline state. A lot of these guys that didn't have initial interest in us, I made sure were from a pipeline state to give us a best, to increase our odds. Granted, you see his top schools list, that's not great odds. But Kona Rao, again, 4-star receiver, 6'4", 173 speedster, 91 speed at that size is awesome. And again, we're his number 6 school off rip. Braylon Todia, however it might be pronounced, gadget receiver, 88 speed, 83 throw power as well. So a high school quarterback that's changing to receiver. But I kind of like what I see from him for sure. Tight ends, I scouted 2 of them. I scouted Lamont Adams, didn't love the 70 speed. Found this guy, Derek Fatinakun. Man, there's some wild last names. I like his 84 speed a lot more. 6'4", 227 vertical threat tight end. A lot of these guys are going to be kind of swinging for the stars a little bit, but that's how I want to do it in the early stages. I did it last year with like Ofisa Vea. He's the only one I remember because he's the one we got. But I did it with quite a few guys. Cedric Major, 3-star well-rounded tackle from a tier 3 pipeline. Looks very good. And then Marco Saldivari, tackle. There were no tackles that had interested us off rip, so these are 2 guys I added. Raw strength guy, so he's going to come in with good power, not as much finesse. Guards, Josh Sabri and Martin Toviesi both look interesting. An agile guy, so a little quicker, better pulling than, for example, a raw strength guy like Toviesi. But he's got the tier 3 pipeline to us. Louisiana Raging Cajuns is his top school, weirdly enough. Same thing with Sabri. I didn't even realize that, actually. So 2 guards that we're looking at there. Edge rusher, Zay Castile. Pure power guy, 84 strength, 83 power move, 71 speed, 80 tackle, 72 block shed. I like what I see. Again, another 4-star guy. Keyshawn Aurora. These are edge rusher. He wasn't interested in us, but the 2 D tackles were number 4 for both of them, and they're both 4-star prospects. Both of them from Texas, varying degrees of pipeline for us. Aurora, 91 strength, 84 power moves, 81 tackle, 88 hit power, 69 awareness, and then favorite, 89 strength, 91 hit power, 86 power. Like, these are some talented players, man. And then who else we got? I found some gems. I found 2 gem outside linebackers, actually. And then Emmett Hicks is a guy, top 100 kid. We're number 2 on his board, behind only Baylor because he's from Waco. And then Kellogg and Tonjes were top 5 for both of them as well. But they all look like good players. Hicks is the slowest of the bunch, but has decent coverage ability. Off rip, looks very well rounded. Kellogg a little faster and coming in at 6'5", 228, has some good abilities. And Tonjes, the most athletic of the bunch, 86 speed, 90 acceleration, a little lacking in man coverage, but his zone coverage is good. So yeah, 3 guys that are very intriguing. Cornerback, again, 3 4-star corners, all interested in us off rip. All Texas guys, of course. Eric Smith, a boundary corner, has 91 speed. Good man and zone off rip as well. Good athletic ability. Looks like a talented player. Brownlee weirdly has no abilities, but has 71 man, 79 zone. He's zone archetype, but 6'3", 191, 89 speed. Good acceleration, agility, change of direction as well. Hugh Cheeks, maybe one of the best names on the board. A 6'1", 178 zone corner from Missouri City. Much better at zone than man, lacking in man, but has good mental abilities already. 89 speed, 90 plus acceleration, change of direction, and agility. Like, man, oh man, these are some talented players, man. Free safety and strong safety, I was less lucky. No initial interest. So Brian Cobb is a guy, 84 acceleration at 6'2", 206. Looks pretty good. Good abilities in coverage as well. Decent tackler. Leaves a little bit to be desired on the athletic front. And then Ben Addison, 88 speed, better coverage abilities, more athletic. from Denton, Texas as well, another pipeline. So a 4-star guy that I'm kind of going after. Cobb only a 3-star, and you could tell there's a little bit of a drop-off. And Quentin Traore, a 3-star safety that I added. Good speed, good coverage, good other athletic abilities. Tackle ain't bad either. Hybrid guy from Pearland, Texas. So I don't know, man. It's a weird board for sure. So what I'm gonna do is I've got 110 hours left, as you can see. So I'm going to I'm just gonna give a scholarship, if my math is correct. 110 divided by 5 is 22. So So I have 23 targets. The one target I won't be giving a scholarship to is Lamont Adams. He's just too dang slow for my liking. I like his size, but as a tight end, at the tight end spot, but I'd much rather give a scholarship to Fatinikun here. So so I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna offer all these dudes scholarships. Again, I don't think insta-commit is really a thing unless we're their top school. So I don't think any of these guys are actually going to commit to us off rip. But I am going to go down and I'm going to offer all these dudes scholarships because there's some talented players and a lot of them are interested in us off rip. It's pretty surprising. I wasn't expecting this, to be completely honest with you. I thought we would have a lot of interest, but it would be like, a lot of 3-star guys, mostly. But there's a lot of 4-star guys that are interested in Freeport Tech right out of the gate. Now, what's weird is we don't have any 3-star guys interested in us, so it's a top-heavy group of guys that are interested, but it's exciting, man. I mean, the hype around the program is starting to build amongst the recruits. So, coming off a nice 10-2 season in the regular season, of course, it set us up nicely. Now we'll see kind of how these races start to unfold, because as we've seen before, we can look like we're in a race, and then we're very suddenly not in that race anymore. We even saw it in the transfer portal in this very episode. So it's, we'll see. Very exciting for sure to have this many guys interested in Freeport Tech off rip. So Lamont Adams, again, the one that we will not be offering a scholarship to on the board. I could probably just take him off the board, to be honest with you, and I probably will. Although maybe I'll just leave him on. It's not like he's taking up a spot at the moment. Plus, if things go south with Fatinikun, I could always just recruit Lamont and see if he could maybe develop some speed or something like that. So there you go. That's our initial recruiting board. A whole lot of names to go through. Spent all 750 hours on them. And yeah, an interesting bunch of guys. We'll see how it unfolds. Here is the schedule I put together for us. As you can see, we're up to a 70 overall as a team. And as we saw before, a 3-star prestige as well. So we're going to start week 1 hosting the FCS Midwest Rebels again. It will be hopefully a nice tune-up game for us at Rob Jones Stadium. And the reason I'm looking for it to be a tune-up game is because the rest of the non-conference, I went with all Power 4 opponents. So we're going on the road to play Arizona State, a Big 12 school that's ranked 17th at the moment. A very good team in real life. I'm not sure what to expect out of them now 2 years into the future, but we'll see. And then Cincinnati will be coming to Freeport Tech to play us at home, just so I had a second home game in the non-conference schedule. Chose Cincinnati. We got at North Texas, at Army, week 4 and 5 to start conference play. Then I had a bye week 6, and I got a home game, or not a home game. I have another non-conference game rather, and it's going to be on the road against Texas A&M, which will probably be the highest overall team on the schedule. So that's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Then back home for 4 games in a row for some reason against UTSA, USF, Navy. So we got both service academies on the schedule this year. That's terrifying, even though I think I've beaten both of them in the first 2 seasons. Home against Tulsa as well. And then we end the year on the road against Florida Atlantic, a team that had a crazy Hail Mary win against us in season 1, and on the road to end the year at Tulane, a potential revenge game on the road. Oh boy, that one's going to have all the headlines around it. So, an interesting schedule, kind of a weird one, again, with this box of 4 home games in a row. And as you can notice, Houston is not on our schedule this year. And honestly, part of it is I just wanted to get 2 ranked opponents on the schedule, and I also wanted another home game. I wanted a home game in week 3. Houston wasn't available for it, so just the way it fell, Houston will be off the schedule this week. But don't you worry, we will undoubtedly play our rivals in future seasons. We gave them this year off after we beat them last year at their place. So yeah, I wanted to get at least 2 ranked opponents on the schedule, and Cincinnati didn't finish very well last year. It's like they went 4-8, but you know, they're a solid team. So I don't expect them to be a pushover, and then A&M is going to be tough as crap, I have no doubt. So yeah, that is the schedule we're going with this year, and should be an interesting one. We'll see if we can have another 10-2 season. I was just about to sim, and this screen caught my attention. Arch Manning transferred to LSU and is the favorite for the Heisman Trophy, followed by Micah Hudson, Dante Moore, who transferred to Michigan State. I mean, that makes sense. He's a Detroit kid. DeCorian Moore for Oregon, and Khalil Lockett for Texas. So that's a very interesting list of schools there. I didn't point it out, but the quarterback transfer portal was insane. It was Arch Manning, Dante Moore, as you can see, those 2. Bryce Underwood transferred out of Michigan. Keelan Russell transferred out of Alabama. It was an insane transfer class at the quarterback position. Obviously, none of them were interested in coming to Freeport Tech. We were locked out of all of them. So this is where we're at. And so as a result, they all went elsewhere, and we weren't able to go after any of them. But that screen caught my attention for sure. So it's a very interesting Heisman race, and it's fascinating that Arch Manning ended up at LSU. 2 updates to start the season here. Ben Brownlee has reached his top 8. We are sitting at number 4, one of the 3 corners on our board. He's the one that's 6'3". So I'd like to land him, but it looks like we are not alone trying to pursue him, which makes sense. These 4-star recruits are not going to fly under anyone's radar. Quentin Traore, on the other hand, has reached his top 8 and locked us out, even though he's only got 1 scholarship offer from Baylor, and we offered him a scholarship. But I guess our bar didn't move enough to crack into his top groups. So already got locked out of 1 recruitment, off to a fantastic start. And that is going to do it for the off season. This episode always takes me 15 business days to record. It takes forever, but I love it at the same time because there's so much that happens. And we are now set for this next season. So we will start the next episode as we did this past season. We'll start in week 0 where we have a bye. We will organize our recruiting board, kind of pick and choose our battles we want to go into, and then we'll advance to week 1, and we will play against our week 1 opponent, FCS Midwest. So thank you for joining me. As I said at the top of the episode, please drop your playbook recommendations in the comments, and I'll be sure to try some out. As I said, I plan on trying a new one out for this upcoming season, and I'd love the input of some recommendations, because there's 136 of them, or however many, so it's a lot. But again, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Love and appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see all y'all in my next episode to kick off Season 3. Later, y'all.